Any truths. You'll need it when people doubt you, when results are slow, when fear shows up. If your mind turns against you in those moments, you'll quit. But if your inner voice is firm, calm and clear, you'll stay the course. You'll remind yourself why you started. You'll tell yourself, this is worth it. That inner strength becomes a shield, and it's built word by word, thought by thought. Some people believe that being hard on themselves keeps them disciplined, but there's a difference between discipline and disrespect. Discipline is saying, I expect more from myself because I know what I'm capable of. Disrespect is saying, I'm not good enough, so I'll never make it. One lifts you up, the other wears you down. If you want to be consistent and resilient, you need discipline without the abuse. You need to push yourself with respect. Start being the voice you wish you had when you were struggling. Speak to yourself like someone who wants to grow, not someone who's doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Remind yourself of the progress you've made. Talk about your goals like they matter. Celebrate your effort, not just your outcomes. That's how you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is what leads to real confidence. Confidence doesn't come from achievements. It comes from the relationship you have with yourself. If you speak with encouragement, honesty, and patience, you become your own supporter. And when you have your own support, you stop needing so much approval from the world. You stop chasing praise. You stop fearing judgment. You start moving through life with quiet power. Because deep down, you know you've got your own back. You're not going to get everything right. You're going to have days where you slip. You're going to have moments where the negative thoughts come rushing in. That's normal. But what matters is how you respond. Will you stay stuck in that mindset? Or will you stop, correct the thought, and replace it with something stronger? Every correction is a step forward. Every kind word is a building block. And over time, the old patterns lose their grip. So check your tone when you talk to yourself. Notice the language. Notice the energy. Start building a new habit of speaking with respect. Speak like someone who wants to see you win. Speak like someone who believes in your potential. Speak like someone who knows you've got work to do, but also knows you're capable of doing it. You're with yourself every moment of your life. You hear every word you say inside. Make sure those words push you forward, not pull you back. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be real. And real means treating yourself with dignity, even in the struggle. That's the shift that rewires your mindset. That's the habit that separates you from the person you used to be. You've spent enough time listening to doubt. It's time to build something better. One word at a time. One thought at a time. One decision at a time. Talk to yourself like someone you respect, and you'll become someone you respect. That's where real change begins.
Order filled.
Chapter 4. Take action when your mind says, delay again. Take action when your mind says, delay again. That moment, when your thoughts start convincing you to wait, to postpone, to think about it later, that moment is the exact turning point where your future is decided. Not tomorrow, not next week, right there. When the idea comes and your mind resists, that resistance is the wall between who you are and who you could become. And most people lose that battle, not because they're weak, but because they believe the delay. They trust the voice that says, not now. And they don't even realize that voice is what's keeping them stuck. Delays don't always look like fear. Sometimes they show up dressed as logic. I'm tired today. I'll feel more ready tomorrow. This isn't the right time. Let me just rest a bit first. That voice sounds reasonable. It even feels protective. But in reality, it's a habit of hesitation. And if you don't challenge that habit, it grows stronger. The more you delay, the more it becomes part of your routine, and eventually you stop trusting yourself to follow through. You can't build anything with hesitation. You can't grow with avoidance. You can't become your best self while always postponing the work. That's why this one habit, taking action exactly when your mind says delay, is the breakthrough. It's not about motivation, it's about response. That first few seconds, when your brain says pause, that's when you step forward. Not because you feel like it, but because you've decided to be the kind of person who follows through anyway. The real challenge is internal. You know what you should do. You've thought about it. You've planned it. But when the time comes, you start negotiating. That's the trap. The mind will try to bargain its way out of discomfort, and you have to be quicker than the excuse. The window is short. Seconds, sometimes. Either you act, or the mind takes over and pulls you back into delay. And here's the truth. Every time you act when you don't feel like it, you build discipline. You send a message to your brain that you're in control now. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need full energy. You don't need more time. You just need to start. That one decision creates momentum, and momentum is powerful. Once you begin, things start shifting. Energy shows up. Clarity returns. The task you were avoiding no longer feels as heavy. It's the starting that was the hardest part. Think about how many things in your life could have already been finished if you had just started when it was time. That conversation you keep pushing off. That task you keep saying you'll get to. That goal you promised yourself you'd work on months ago. They're not undone because of lack of knowledge. They're not undone because of lack of time. They're still waiting because of delay. The habit of putting things off steals more dreams than failure ever will.
Order
the longer
filled.
you delay, the heavier things feel. A simple task starts to feel like a burden. A 1-hour job becomes a mental weight. And over time, that weight turns into guilt. You start thinking, why can't I just do it? But it's not about your ability. It's about your pattern. Your brain got used to comfort. It built a pathway that says, if it's uncomfortable, avoid it. But you're not here to stay comfortable. You're here to grow. And growth only happens on the other side of action. You won't feel ready. Stop waiting for that. Most breakthroughs happen when you move forward despite the feeling. The mind wants safety. The soul wants expansion. And they often don't agree. That's why you feel internal conflict. But every time you choose movement over delay, you build a stronger version of yourself. You become someone you can count on. Someone who doesn't get pushed around by hesitation. There's power in doing the small things immediately.
Order filled.
Waking up when the alarm rings.
Oh, I need
Answering
$20.
the email you've been avoiding. Getting started on the workout. Opening the book. Sitting down to work. These don't seem like big things, but they are. They're the proof that you're becoming someone who follows through, and that consistency will change your identity. When you take action despite resistance, your self-respect increases. You stop seeing yourself as someone who quits. You start seeing yourself as someone who gets it done. That self-pigeon upgrade is what drives long-term change. You can only respect yourself when you live in a way that aligns with your goals.
That was crazy.
And that
Wow.
means not giving in to delay
I'm gonna wait
when you
tomorrow
promised
before I start
yourself
this challenge.
progress.
I'm not gonna try trade today
This
again.
isn't about speed.
That was such a good trade.
It's about intention. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to act when your mind tries to stall. That's the rule. When the hesitation shows up, don't argue with
I
it.
literally closed the window.
Don't debate it. Don't sit with it. Just act.
What's it called? 53.
One step. One movement. One decision.
I don't know how they would just do it
Break the
like that.
pattern before it becomes a cycle. You don't
So
need more
$20
time.
more.
You need less hesitation. That's what most people don't realize. They think they're waiting for a better moment, but really they're just practicing avoidance. And practice makes permanent. So stop practicing the delay. Practice execution. Practice being the person who moves, even when it's hard. Practice courage in motion. Delays rob you of peace. When something needs to be done and you avoid it, it